Hey, D-Land, Christopher Walker here again. Gonna do another review. Just a couple of things before I'm gonna take a break for about a week or so. So I thought I'd make another review, and that is of Southern Comfort from 1981. The back. Now, of course, Walter Hill directed this film. And I want to talk about Walter Hill. Sorry about my hair for a moment. It's morning where I am. But I want to talk about Walter Hill for a moment. Walter Hill is one of my all-time favorite directors. He directed some great stuff. He directed Hard Times. He directed The Driver. I mean, just other stuff. He also wrote Sam Peckinpah's The Getaway, as well as the underrated Hickey and Boggs, starring Robert Culp and Bill Cosby. And so anyway, back to his directing efforts. He's had one of the greatest streaks of any director. Any. He had the first 6 or 7 movies have been perfect. Like, usually a director can't do that. But Walter Hill did. And those films were Hard Times with Charles Bronson and James Coburn, The Driver with Bruce Dern and Ryan O'Neal, The Warriors, The Long Riders, Southern Comfort, 40 and 48 Hours. Greatest streak of any director, I think. He didn't miss a beat. But I want to talk about Southern Comfort today. It's the land of hospitality, unless you don't belong there. Awesome tagline, and I love this front cover. This is actually from Shout Factory. I don't know if you can see that, but Shout Factory is an amazingly awesome company who also have a another company called Scream Factory, which I have a couple of their stuff. But I love both companies quite a bit. Got some great stuff. Anyway, so back to Southern Comfort. So the plot is these National Guardsmen are on weekend maneuvers, and they're about to be home, and one of the team members decides, because they have to get across this swamp, and they find some canoes that belong to the Cajuns that live near them. And so one of the members is like, hey, we can just borrow these canoes, leave them a note, and we can bring them back. So they take the canoes, and I also forgot to mention, all of their guns are filled with blanks, except for one of them. So one person has all the bullets, and the rest of them have blanks. Anyway, so they take the canoes, and the Cajuns catch them. They see them with their canoes, and one of the guys are like, sorry, we'll take it back. But one of the guys has like an M60 filled with blanks, so he begins shooting at the Cajuns, and they're all like ducking, and then they think it's actual bullets, so they load up one of their rifles, and they blow the back of the sergeant's the main the high superiority the sergeant's head off, and he falls into the water, and everyone's like, oh, holy crap. They're all like jumping in, they abandon their canoes, they wash up on land, and pretty much what happens is, since that guy who made an error in judgment decided to start shooting at the Cajuns, those Cajuns are now after them, and they have to fight their way out of it with hardly any bullets and only their wits. And that is the plot of Southern Comfort. Now, you can just find it much better. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read it on the back of this Blu-ray. 9 National Guardsmen enter the Louisiana swamp for routine training, but an error in judgment by one of the team incites an all-out war with some angry Cajuns who know the territory like the backs of their hands. Armed with the precious few bullets and confused by the dimly lit, moss-covered maze into which they've stumbled, the guardsmen know they'll be picked off one by one until they come up with a solution using the only resources they have left, their wits. And that's pretty much the plot right there. Um, but it's got a great cast in here. You've got Keith Carradine, who's in a whole bunch of stuff like McCabe and Miss Miller, The Long Riders, which I plan on some point. I plan on reviewing The Long Riders. Powers Booth, one of the most underrated actors of all time, is also in this movie. He was in Frailty, which I own. He was also in Extreme Prejudice, which I own, which are both good movies. Extreme Prejudice is an awesome movie. But Walter Hill really liked using Powers Booth, so I brought him back for a couple more films. You also have, who else you got in here? You have T.K. Carter, who, if you might not recognize the name, but you'd recognize him if you saw him. He was in The Thing. He played the guy on the roller skates in John Carpenter's The Thing. You have Fred Ward from Tremors and a whole bunch of other stuff. And you also have Brian James, plays one of the Cajuns, which he was in Blade Runner and 48 Hours and all this other stuff. He's really famous in The Fifth Element as well. But this is a great Blu-ray release from Shout Factory. Undo the case here. You got the DVD. Here, let me. The DVD and the Blu-ray. Very cool, very cool. There's the reverse cover art with all the actors on there. Keith Carradine there, Powers Booth, Fred Ward, T.K. Carter. That's the guy with the M60 I was telling you guys about. But, yeah. I love the reverse flip. I love the old art. That's just such an awesome cover art. Of course, Ry Cooder did the fantastic soundtrack, and Ry Cooder has done multiple Walter Hill films. Walter Hill really liked using him, which I can see why. He did some great, I'm not going to say Cajun music. Is it bluegrass? What do they consider bluegrass? No. I don't know, but it's great. Just great Cajun music. Like, it's some great stuff. But, it's a mixture of different genres. It's got a dash of drama. It's an action movie. It's a suspense movie, and it's sort of even a horror movie. And when I say horror, I mean like they're getting picked off one by one. It's sort of like a slasher movie, except bigger budget, better actors, better music, better plot, all that stuff. But it pretty much is a action, horror, thriller film, and a great Walter Hill movie. Pick up this Blu-ray if you haven't. There's the side, Southern Comfort, epic movie. Got a great stuff in here. Here's the back. You also got a great interviews in here. You got some cool outtakes and a cool trailer. Great movie, directed by one of my all-time favorites, Walter Hill. Definitely recommended. If you haven't seen it, pick it up. I'm Christopher Walker, and I will be seeing you guys later for another review, as well as a sort of a DVD show-off. Yeah, see you guys later.